Here we are.
Tuesday.
It's all right. It's Tuesday. It is. How are you? We are flying through Whiskey Week. Not Whiskey Week. Well, it is Whiskey Week. We do call it Whiskey
Essentially,
Week,
it's
don't
Whiskey
we? We call
Week,
it
yeah.
Auction Week or Whiskey Week, anyway.
Yeah.
Yesterday, talking about the customer casks, and we said that we're going to sort of. Today, I sort of said it, I'd elaborate a wee bit more. There's two big words about
Look
this.
at you. And it's only Tuesday.
And it's. Oh yeah, it's Tuesday. Brendan, look, we love Brendan Carty. We love everything Brendan Carty does. What he stands for, he's brilliant. He's a genius. A madman.
Yes.
I mean, obsessive. But you need to be a bit obsessive to do what he's doing down
He
there.
had a bit of bad news yesterday.
Yes, he did have a bit of bad news yesterday. And Brendan, we know your pain, brother.
We totally do.
We know the family's pain, so we're thinking of you. Even thinking about that makes it just go.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Killowen. So Killowen was the maddest idea. I mean, it shouldn't work. It's a passion project. It's a love project. He does it literally for the love of it. He's down there. He's propped on the side of a mountain in the middle of the Mourne Mountains. It is the most idyllic setting for a distillery. But I mean, you couldn't swing a cat in the place. You literally couldn't swing a cat in the place. Or any other animal. But he does it, and what he produces is just phenomenal, and it all comes from him just going, I want to do this as good as I can. I want to do this as right as I can. I suppose the smallness and the scale that he does it as allows his creativity, which is great, which is brilliant. So in the early days, we had these 10-year-olds. These were the bonded experimental series that he done with, it was, well documented that it was Cooley distillate. And he done them in different cask finishes. He done them in dark rum. He done it in tequila. He done it in Ceccolina. He's done them in various different things. There's a peated Isle of Malt one. If you look at most of Brendan's bottles, I'm going to rub that one there. There should be a lot of them would have black marker on the back labels where he got his knuckles and wrists slapped for what he could say and what he couldn't say on the bottles. They're all tiny production. They're all, again, what we mentioned yesterday about Brendan was the scale of what he does it as. I mean, look, that's 348 bottles, 388 bottles. They're all so small. 202
of the acacia rum and raisin.
And that's the one that was done for Whiskey Live, Kate.
Oh, that was a nice one.
That was a nice one. I think that was this year's Whiskey Live one, wasn't it? It was this year's one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So he's done some fantastic stuff. Brilliant. I mean, but where he's really shone is with Barantuil. I mean, Barantuil, he's created this label and this packaging and this boxes that just says, this is us. Yeah. This is what we are. I mean, the what are they called?
Spirals.
Yes,
Celtic
somebody would
spirals.
come up with the name there. Celtic spirals. Authenticity, what does it really mean? Some say it's about pride and integrity, yada yada yada. Brendan literally talks about how his Barantuil, their single cask releases. So that's KD001. So that is the first cask that Brendan ever laid down in September 22. He bottled that. It was a 120 litre PX sherry cask. Turfed is the word. I don't think turfed is an official whiskey term. I could be wrong. Maybe
It's
Brendan.
a Brendanism.
It's a Brendanism. Again, huge ABV, 60.7 ABV, 232 bottles of it alone. It sold out. Drillada. And then he had KD02, which is there. KD20, KD32, which is the one that done with the Capuchin, the fundraising, the Friends of Irish Whiskey.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Ian
Garrett.
Yes, that's the one. Yep.
Yes.
Yes, good name. It's 120 litres, Pinot Noir cask as well, and rye, I think it is. I think that's what that one was, a rye single cask. Again, he's just, lightly peated, not turfed. Turfed is when you fuck somebody out through a door, isn't it?
Apparently, yeah,
Yeah,
but
we're turfed out.
not in Brendan's head.
Not in Brendan's head, no. It's his smoking room. It's like you'd swear it had this connotation of something fantastic. It's a little shed.
Yes.
It's like a porta potty, with shelves in it, where he smokes his. I don't know what he does be smoking half the time down there, but he does be smoking the grains to do his whiskey, and he's just a madman. I mean, nobody else would think of doing it, and it's necessity, I suppose, that's made him do what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's doing it at the scale that he's doing it. It's doing it on the budget that he's doing it, and he's just been creative, and he's created some fantastic whiskies. Poitin is another thing that he's really passionate about. So we've got the bulk on now.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's the dead and buried one, and that's Pinot Noir rested. And again, I know he ran into challenges with you weren't allowed to say it was aged.
No.
It had to be rested in the barrel. I mean, you can picture like the whiskey just lying there
Yeah.
in its slumber, enjoying its sleep.
And Brendan singing
lullabies.
Lullabies to it.
You know, and there's traditional Irish music playing in the background. I mean, you know, and I would, again, you wouldn't be surprised. He's there doing all these things. So that's the Poitin. Then the stone soup. Again, another one of these mad ones. I mean, what? But with Brendan, they have a name.
Yeah.
All the names have a meaning, and it means something. I remember him telling the story.
I have that in video.
It's about the head thing. It's something about the head. I think Poitin giving you a mad hangover. This stone soup, turf smoked grain, 10 weeks rested in PX as well. And then ultimately you've the rum and raisin. The rum and raisin has been his... we tasted that before it was even out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And his question was, what does it taste like? And it was literally like rum and raisin ice cream.
It was
or
just
rum and raisin bar.
gorgeous.
He's brilliant. He is exceptional. Long may he last.
Oh, yeah.
Long may he shine. If you can support Brendan in any way you can, I mean, support his new releases when they come out.
He has that Penga as well. The Pengar.
Panger Poitin.
Panger.
You
Just
can
think of
imagine
banger. And put a P there.
yeah. You imagine somebody up the north. It's a Panger Poitin. It's a what now? That's another one of Brendan's. I mean, Poitin is really passionate about Poitin, and he knows his stuff. And whereas he differs from previous brands who were releasing Poitin was either just neutral grain spirit or was new make spirit.
Yeah.
He has created Poitin recipes. He's found old Poitin mash bills and he's put them together, and they've been exceptional. I mean, 10 weeks, and Sinead, there's a prime example. 10 weeks of in a barrel, resting with Irish diddly eye music playing in the background and
Brendan
singing lullabies to it, and you go from clear to that. I mean, if he didn't sing to it, it wouldn't have that colour.
No.
That's just what it comes down to. Yep, that's what Brendan, your singing voice. I've heard him sing. I have heard him sing.
Have you?
Yeah, but I think he was bananas drunk at the time.
Oh yeah, well I haven't heard him sing yet.
Was he not singing one on one of the during lockdown that he was singing on one of the
Possibly.
Zoomy things?
Possibly.
I think he was. So as I say, revert back to my original thought, which was buy Brendan's whiskey. You get a nice rubber band to put around your wrist.
You do. Everybody's into these things now. I know where your head's going. Don't even go there. Don't.
Lovely rubber bands. Good man, Brendan. Up there for dancing. Anyhow, that's it. We're back tomorrow, Wednesday. I haven't a breeze what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Have you?
We never do.
No, we never do. We came down this morning and went, what are we going to do? And we talk Brendan. That's it. We'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday because today is Tuesday. That's it. Right. Bye. Good luck.